your answers, you need to give a bit of evidences, from
Also,
what
I
each
forgot to,
sociologist said.
sorry to cut you off. I also forgot to tell you, um, we decided that, I won't be giving the exam this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be giving it next year in May.
Okay. All
But do
right.
you
So you've got plenty of time.
Yeah, but do you know that if do you know that the sociology do you know if the sociology exam happens uh any other time in the year except other than, May, June?
For Dexel, it's only in April, in May, June. But for Cambridge, it's in October, November, and May, June.
What about for
And
AQA?
yeah, sorry, for AQ as well. It just happens once a year. Up until May, June. If you want to appear in October, November, you can opt for Cambridge, and it won't be much of a difference for you because the syllabus is pretty much the same. I mean, I'm teaching a Cambridge GCSE student, and I'm teaching literally the same thing to her, and as well as you. So if you feel like you want to, um appear in October, November, you can opt for Cambridge. And it wouldn't be such a problem for you because the syllabus sociology is always the same.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So you can choose to do that. The paper structure will be obviously slightly different. A Dexel paper structure focuses a little bit more on short answers. In terms of Cambridge, sorry, I keep saying Dexel, it's AQA. AQA is focusing on short answers. Meanwhile, Cambridge is a little bit focusing on extensive, detailed answers. That is the only drawback I can think of actually. But
Okay.
the syllabus remains the same.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went over various um sociologist perspective on family. And I want you to note down some names of sociologists because when you write your detailed answers, your longer answers, you will need to kind of back it off with evidence, right? I remember I went over Parsons in functionalist when we were talking about family, but let's write all of them down so that you have it all in one place and then you can use it for your answer. So we could perhaps say that this is your family key studies. So it'll be like a reinforcement of previous topic anyway. So the key studies in family, you could say, is one, we went over Talcott Parson. Do you remember what Parson said about family?
Yes.
What was that?
The warm bath theory.
Yeah, the bombast theory. What was it?
It's basically a family, is supposed to comfort and, relieve the stress of other family members when they come home from a stressful day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
yeah, I guess it's kind of like it's basically their job to do that, I guess.
Mhm.
It's one
Fine.
of their functions.
Okay. Yes. All right. So you're right. Parsons identified two key functions of the family. One was family. The purpose of family is to provide primary socialization within the society to the, you know, family members, children when they are born, and teach them the shared norms and values of the society. And the second purpose is to stabilize the society through the emotional support. And we identified, uh, Parson said that stabilization in the society done by family is done through the warm bath theory. Okay,
Yes.
so we have this. Okay, now then in Marxism, did I talk about any sociologist for Marx? Did I
Uh,
give you any names?
for the perspectives,
Mm-hmm. I, from what I remember, is I gave you a very generic one.
Karl Marx.
Yeah, I gave you Karl Marx, really?
Did you?
No, I think I gave you a generic Marxist theory and not a
Oh, theory.
specific.
I thought you meant person. Oh, theory. Um,
So,
basically that, the family units are consumer units. No, they're basically they benefit the bourgeoisie or the higher class by basically buying stuff and becoming a consumer unit, and
mm-hmm,
making them earn more money and making them more rich.
mm-hmm.
Would that be the general theory?
Yes, that was a general theory for the Marxist. Fine. Yes. But I want to give you some names for this, okay? So there was a Marxist, Zaretsky,
Okay.
okay? And he was the one who, one sec, sorry. I don't know what that's for. Okay. Yeah. So he was the one who actually said that families are the units of consumption. So now you have a name to back up your theory by. So Zaretsky is the one who said that family actually serves capitalism. And how do they do that?
By
One,
buying stuff, by being
yes,
consumer units.
yeah, yes. By through so he brought up the unit of consumption idea,
Yeah.
okay? And he also, remember we talked about the inheritance and how the rich remains the rich
Yes,
because
yes.
the
Yeah.
inheritance is passed on. So he also talked about that as well. So this was also all said by Zeratsky. So passing on of advantage in families. So the inheritance. And he also mentioned that women are the unpaid labor in a capitalist society. Okay. These were the things that were said by Zaretsky. Okay. And let me see. I think there was one more thing I wanted to go over. One moment. Did I download this? Give me a second. I'm just looking at my other notes. Functions, techniques, Marxist, family, consumer units, contribution. Okay, there was another sociologist that I want you to know is another one was I don't know if I should call him Angles, Angels, whatever his name was. He was also a Marxist. Okay, so let's just call say Marxist here. This is a functionalist. Okay. Now this guy, he said that the role of the family is to teach the same values and the same norms and the same things to the individuals, obviously through socialization, so that individuals do not deviate, and that they conform to the rules of the society. Okay, he said that families, they teach individuals to conform to the society and not deviate. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. You were quite silent, so I was like, "What?" So, and he said that the purpose of families is simply to reproduce, and that reproduction allows the bourgeoisie to get a free workforce. Because when these working class people reproduce, it leads to more people in the population, and then the rich people have more people working, because when a rich kid is born in a rich house, he inherits the money. That means he
Yes.
retains his social status. However, when a working class child is born in a family, that is reproduction of more labor, right? They
Yes.
look at it that way. So that's what this guy said. So he said that, and a working class man, if he's unhappy with his job, he doesn't have a choice. He's just
Okay.
going to continue his job. He's not going to quit his job, even if he's unhappy with his job. Why? Because his children, his family is dependent on him. And that
Yeah.
was his perspective. And he said that this is what the Marxists have to say about family and the function of the family. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Then we've got a radical feminist named Delphi, and this was a research done by the two people here, Delphi and Leonard. Now, what did they have to say is that family is patriarchal. Okay, they are feminist, so that's what they're going to say. Family is patriarchal, and they are patriarchal. Why? Because one, women are exploited economically
Okay.
because they are the labor used by their husbands, free labor. And then second thing they said about the family is family has its own hierarchy of power where men are at the top. Yeah? You know what a
Yeah.
hierarchy looks like?
Yes, yes,
Remember
yes.
from business? Yeah? Okay. So that's what they have to say. And then they said that the fact that because families are patriarchal, the fact that families are patriarchal, they reflect on patriarchal societies. Because of the fact that families are patriarchal, that has led for the societies to become patriarchal as well. Okay.
Okay.
The next is also a feminist, not a specified radical or liberal feminist, but just a feminist. Um, that was Oakley. Okay. Oakley had to say what she had to say about family is that um women, again, pretty much in overlapping, but here women are expected to do unpaid work. Um, there is an idea of conventional family that Oakley has identified. What is a conventional family?
A conventional family? I
Mm-hmm.
guess like a picture perfect family.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So this was a term identified by Anne Oakley herself, where she said that conventional families are those, those ideal family, those serial packet families, or nuclear families, which composes of the legal couple, right? So Anne Oakley had to say that families are portrayed in a society. And this idea of having a picture perfect family has a lot of power, and it imposes immense pressure on the women in the society. It's powerful and have so you know have been a lone parent family structure, divorced family, separated, reconstituted is not what the society wants to look at. The society wants to look at a conventional family. And since Oakley is the one who identified the term a conventional family, and so she said that it's very powerful and it has led to immense pressure on the women in the society. Okay. Um. So people actually expect the nuclear families to be perfect. They expect happiness from family.
Okay.
and they expect nuclear families to be perfect, but Oakley says that nuclear family structures is not ideal. In fact, it can be stressful. So she has an opinion about nuclear families to be specific. Okay. And she also adds in family diversity, she also adds that in middle class families, we often get to see a diversified family structure. Um, there are reconstituted families, there are nuclear families, there are mostly extended families. So Oakley said that specifically focusing, if we're looking at a social strata in terms of family, it is the middle class family that tends to have a diversified structure. Okay?
Yeah. Wait, can you explain the middle class again? Point four
Sure,
again?
sure. So we understand we're going to study that later anyway, but social stratification is about the social statuses, the social structures present in the society. We've got the working class, we've got middle class, we've got upper class, right? So Oakley said that when we look at family structures and the diversity in the middle classes, there is a larger diversity, right? In middle class, we see there might be a lot of nuclear families, we might see lone parent families, we might see reconstituted families, we might see serial packet families. So there is a large variety of family structures in middle class houses. That's what Oakley had said. Yes?
Got it.
Okay. Okay. So good. So far, so good. Shall I move on?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay. Now, this is also a feminist.
Pardon?
Oakley is also a feminist,
Yeah.
but the next that I mentioned, not any specific, um, perspective, but uh, the two of them, these two tend to have the same surname, so that's why. Uh, Rappaport and Rappaport. And you are going to write it this way as well, right? In the exam as well, you are supposed to write, even if this sounds like the same person, but in the exam, you need to write all of them, both names together. These two people, they conducted some research and they identified 5 different types of family diversity. Okay, so family diversity identified by these two people said there were 5 types. Um, no, not sure if I should do it, or it sounds. Is it overwhelming?
No, no.
Okay,
Sorry. Go
you're
ahead.
you're clear so far. Okay, so one they said organizational. Okay, the structures of the family are rather organizational. Um, Same thing as the hierarchy of power within the family. Okay, it means the same thing. Then they said.
One thing, sorry, can you explain what
Mhm.
is can you just sorry, I think I don't know where I was, but rapper and rapper is basically the can you explain it again?
These two people are sociologists.
Yeah.
Okay. They both tend to have the same surname, but they are two different people. They have conducted research together and they've identified a family diversity of specific 5 types.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. And they've identified that in families there are these 5 things present, and these are the 5 things that cause this family structures to be different. Number one is the organizational. Okay, if the family is focusing on power of hierarchy, the family structure tends to be different. If there is the male power that's more dominant, it will be patriarchal. If there is female power, then it will be a matrifocal or matriarchal family. Okay. Um, then it is the family diversity. could be different because of the cultural factors. Okay. Cultural factors could be, or the religion differences, right? So, if you think about it, let me go in a little bit of history with you. Religious or cultural differences. In Afro-Caribbean, we see that there are more matriarchal, matrifocal family structures. The mothers are more dominant in the family. Why? The reason is that back in the days, the Afro-Caribbeans, the men or the sons, as soon as they were born, or men, they were always taken away for slavery. They were sold in the market and they were taken away for slavery. Who was left back at home? The women, the mothers. So they had no choice but to take on um, controlling and dominating roles, which eventually led to a culture in the Afro Caribbean society where the family structures in the society became matrifocal or matriarchal, due to which their family diversity, their family structures turn into that. So we could, so this is one of the things that Rappaport is identifying, is that it could be due to the religious and cultural differences that the family structures may be different. Okay, making sense?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Little bit.
No, I think I'll just again, I need to get a hold. I'll just read it alone and then I'll get a hold of it again.
Do you want a moment to jot it down? What's in your head?
Can I read the passage if that's okay?
Yeah, sure. What passage are you going to read?
On the book.
Okay, is it there in the book? I'm not teaching from the book.
It's on page 88. Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay, okay, perfect. Go ahead, read it, read
Yeah.
it. I'll check it out as well. Page 88. Oh, yes, it's there. Oh, go ahead. I'll just get my water bottle. You done reading?
Pardon?
You done reading?
No, no, I'm
Okay,
in the beginning right
perfect.
now.
Sure, sure, take your time.
Sorry, I'm a slow reader.
No worries, take your time. I want you to understand.
Okay. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. What did you understand? From what first you tell me what you understood.
Okay, so basically the two rappers, they basically believe that that the family life, family diversities are changing, and then there's more than one type of family type in the UK now. They
Mm-hmm.
believe that there are five types of family diversities. I only read about two right now, so the organizational
Mm-hmm.
and cultural right now. Organizational basically tells us that there are more differences as in family life as marriage is declining and divorce is starting to increase. So families such as lone parent families and reconstituted families, blended families are start to become more common in the UK now. As well as I think they differ from what type of families there are inside, like dual working families, domestic divisions of labor also affects it. So I think they only talk about that and that in organizational.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural, I think they kind of touched upon how in like how in the Catholic, Catholic societies, divorce is like very low. And that that in some cultures that that there is male patriarchy and male dominance, where the male is held above the as a male figure in the family, he's held above it.
Yeah, we will go over all of the organizational and cultural in great detail. Okay, right now we're just going over it briefly because especially the cultural one, it's um your polygamy, monogamy, all of these they're like very detailed, and I know in your book it's just like some bullet points, but you need to know some case studies as well of it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do those tomorrow with you. Right now I'm just going to go over all the perspectives so that you have it all down in one page, and then tomorrow we'll go deeper in the cultural diversity and the diversified structures. Okay.
Tomorrow we have class Thursday.
Sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday.
Yeah,
My bad.
no
Yeah.
worries.
Okay. So, the third one was your social class. Okay.
Yep.
So this is the five reasons they've identified for the diversity. There is social class, the cohort referring to the historical differences between societies and cultures, and of course the life course. The final one is life course. How the life cycle in the family has changed. Now people are, especially the older people, they're living longer lives, considering now that there's a lot of medical treatments available in the hospitals, and then people tend to live a little bit longer because before a regular flu could kill anybody, or tuberculosis was a very, very common disease that killed people. But now it's pretty common, and people live after it because there's a lot of treatments and scientific discoveries that has increased the life cycle of family, right?
Yeah.
So that has eventually led to a larger family diversity. Why? Because when there's grandparents and all staying in the family, that changes the family structure to extended family. That has increased the family structure of extended family. Yes, clear?
Yes.
The final one is I want to go over is your functionalist, Wilmot and Young. So we've got functionalist. I think I wrote that in green. And this is Wilmot. Okay. So Wilmot and Young, they carried out primary research. They carried out surveys, and they carried out face-to-face structured interviews. And they found that family was becoming more symmetrical, right? Where they were similar, but not identical roles, you could say.
Okay.
Today in contemporary society, it has become a lot more in. There is equal contribution from the male and the female to household work, and there is shared decision making. Um, there's you know um, there's different changes. The families will become more home centered. What do you think I mean by home centered?
I have no idea, no.
Okay. By that I mean it's like, families, they're more close knit. They they spend more time together. Um, there is how families have they've understood today the value of spending time with each other, considering there was a phase that everybody was, on their phones, disconnected, living far away from each other, especially in the West. But recently, in the contemporary society, you can see that the families have become very home centered, where families are living close to each other, they're close knit, they're where the home is the heart of the family, you could say. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's about it. That's what Wilmot and Young said. Yeah, so we could say that Wilmot and Young families have become more symmetrical, and there are similar roles, similar but not identical. I saw in the book there was something more on page 88 about functionalist. What was that? Oh, it was just the functionalist, like Parsons saying that nuclear family is better in functioning.
Yes.
Then we can just add this in the Parsons section, that Parsons said that nuclear family is better, but then the others disagreed with that. So we can add this to our point. Nuclear is better. That's what his perspective was. Okay. So this is it for all the perspectives. Um, in family, I think I've covered all of them. Um, Let me check if I've missed anything. Can you also check if I missed anything in case? British family transition
Sure.
covered this.
We did the cohort, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, we covered all of the family diversity. So, yeah.
okay. I think now we can move forward to the family types. I think that's what's next, right? Yeah. So, the family types. Let's go over those. Uh, I'm just checking your book in case I've missed anything. I'm just making sure. Okay, yeah. So the next thing in your book is the types of family. Let's go over this. Okay. Um, I know you know a lot of them, so you are free to contribute.
Sure.
Nuclear family.
You're asking me what it is, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so a nuclear family basically consists of two parents and their dependents.
Okay, fine. A typical family structure with two parents, a mother
A father.
and a father, and their dependents. Fine. Um, then we've got extended family.
Yes. Extended family, I think vertically would be the parents, the the parents, the uncles, the aunties, and horizontally it would be the grandparents, great grandparents, and all living under one roof, one
Oh,
household.
absolutely. So children, grandparents, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then we've got a lone parent family.
Consist of one parent and their dependents.
Absolutely. So a single parent and then their dependent. Then we have a reconstituted family.
It's where basically two parents coming from previous relationships with their children and
Okay.
together they're living in a household with previous
Absolutely.
children from previous relationships.
Absolutely. Also known as step families. So two broken families coming together and becoming one,
And also
right?
known as blended, right?
Yes, blended.
Okay.
Write that down. Then we've got same-sex families where the same gender, father, and children.
Yeah,
Do you know what a boomerang family is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
Okay. Do you know what a boomerang is?
Yeah, it's like a thing that you throw and it comes back to you, right?
Absolutely, yes. It was something that was used in the hunting in Australian uh, tribes. So, so it's something that you throw and then it comes back. So that's what it is. This is when your children leave home, perhaps that could be to go to university, and they often come back to their original families because perhaps the living alone might be overwhelming or the expense of living alone is a lot. So this is when the children leave their original homes to live alone, but then come back. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what a beanpole family is?
A beanpole. Wait, I've heard of it. Beanpole. Oh, can you tell me?
Well, it's when it's like it is the family which has only one child in each generation. So the mother and the father has one child, their child has just one child, their child has just one child, so having just
Okay.
one child in the family. And this is increasingly common as well now, especially uh, China introduced a one child policy, not allowed to have more than one child. It was common then, and also it has become common now because the cost of living has become a lot for people. So that has led to people trying to, decrease the number of children in their families.
Okay.
So there's that. I think I have it all covered. I'm just checking your book. Yes. Yes, I have it all. You can take the official definitions from the textbook,
Yep.
but I think this is it for today. Any questions? Anything you need me to explain again?
No, no questions.
Okay, so I think this is it. I will see you in the next class.
Perfect.
Um, okay, then we'll do the rest. All right. See ya. Bye
Perfect.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Yes.